Good morning, everybody. I was just starting on my slow stitch piece again for the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. I've just finished watching Rachel's 2 videos and one of Sarah's. It's still quite early in the morning. I get up very early, so that's when I get to sort of watch a few videos. It's my alone time, you could say. And I've just been putting a couple of little flowers on. I showed you that I'd pinned, which I still haven't stitched. I will have to stitch that before I continue. And I've just cut out a couple of little circles like this, and I'm doing a couple of the little messy scruffy flowers. And I've done that one. I think I will put one over here as well. And I've got one down the bottom here. I've knotted up a little bit. I thought I would use some yellow. Because I have this tuft of yellow here, I thought I would put a bit of yellow on these flowers. And these little flowers, like I said, they're just a little circle. And you can layer them up if you want to make them even more textural. And, you know, that's the kind of effect you will get. But I'm just using single little flowers. And the way that I do that is I just... Where did I want that first? I think I wanted it about there. I'm just bringing up my thread and I'm putting it through the center of my flower like that. Decide how I want that fabric to be on the page. And then before I go back down, just instead of going straight back down, I get my needle like that and I bring it over and go down like that, so it pinches the center and ruffles the flower up like that. And they don't have to be perfect in any way. And then I'm coming back to where I can see them. Well, it's a bit hard to see, but where the middle is again, and this time I'm going to do a loose messy French knot. You can use beads or anything like that in this. So I'll just go around 3 times, and instead of pulling the French knot tight, I've left it like that on the needle, and I'm just going to pull it through, and that will create a little messy center for that flower. And that's all I'm going to do for those, and then knot the back. But if you want to use beads, you can. I noticed Rachel's using beads this week. I'm not sure. I might use beads in the center of my other flowers. These ones or sequins, I do love things like that, but I didn't actually want this one too glitzy or, you know, too shiny, because my rabbit is quite rough and ready. So I thought there's a bit of a white spot here, which I don't mind, but I could put like a flower there as well. But I don't want to put that one on until I have put this flower on here. I'm going to put some centers in my flowers. So I'll go stitch this on and then probably attach the flower here and decide. I will probably, I don't know. I wonder if I've got any like matte kind of beads that aren't too shiny that I might be able to. Oh, I've got a little packet of beads that's always floating around and I love it. Little Czech beads. Have I moved them? Oh my goodness, they're always here. I tidied up not too long ago. You'd never know though. Where did I put them? Because I really like them. Are they in here? No, no. No. Oh, here. I've got these little ones. They're lovely little Czech beads. I wonder what they might look like. If I just, because they're a grey kind of colour. If I just put a few of those in the centre, because they don't all have to be yellow in the centre, do they? Like that. I quite like that. Because although they're a bit shiny because of the metal colour to them, and then maybe I could find something different for in the blue ones. Okay. Alright. I will do that, but I'll come back and show you a little bit of that anyway once I've stitched this on. Okay, so all the beading has been done. This little piece of flower has been overcast, stitched on. The flowers are done. I did some little bullion flowers and buds just across the top of the lace with some little daisy stitch leaves on them. And now I'm just doing the center of these two flowers, and I have these lovely sequins. They're really old. You can tell how old they are, and they barely have any shine on them, and that's what I like about them. They're just, you know, they're like there's a glint of a shine, but it's not a sparkle. So I'm going to use those, and then I have these little tiny matte glass beads here as well, and I'll use those. So I'm just going to put one of those in the center of each of these two flowers. And these kind of sequins, they don't really have a cup like you know, today's sequins do. They're really flat, so it's hard to tell if there is a right or a wrong side with them. Like that, and that's how that will look. And so I'm going to put another stitch in that, and then I'll go and do that one there as well. A funny thing. Now, this yellow thread here, in the center here, I thought, what a wonderful match it is for this, and I was looking for it to do the center of the little bullion stitches, and I only had like bits here, and I thought, where is this thread? It's actually this. It's what's been pulled out of this piece of tea towel. See the yellow threads? It's what has been like frayed off the end like that. So I've just used those to put in the center of the flowers, because it's the exact same thread. I just thought it was rather funny because I was looking in my box for the yellow and couldn't find it, and found out that it was actually the threads that I'd pulled out that I was using. So, waste nothing. Okay, so they are stitched on now. And I'm just looking at it, and I guess it could be done. But I'm going to just try something. And I'm thinking, well, if I don't like the way it looks, I can always pull it out at the end. And that is, I was thinking of doing a couple of little flowers up here. It just, because when I see it in the viewfinder, that looks rather bare. I know we don't have to fill every little space, but because my bunny's kind of whimsical, I think I might be able to get away with it. If I don't like it, like I said, I can just pull it out. I need a needle. No, wrong needle. One preferably that I can see the eye. So I'm just going to do a couple of little green stems, probably using stem stitch. Well, how many? I think this is like three. Is it three strands of thread? And what I'm thinking is I could come up here behind this, because this yellow fringe here reminds me of grass when it's like that, like a field. And I thought just a couple of little flowers coming up like that over here, just, it might look alright. Oh, I could have one kind of bending, I think, like that perhaps. Over the top, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Oh, okay. Let me try that. So basically I'm just going to do a stem stitch, which is one of the stitches I'm quite sure that we did on our sample pages. Where did that go? Wow, that was a big stitch. Okay, well, I think some of that will be covered by the yellows. What's going on? Oh, okay, that's it. Okay. Oh, that was a big stitch. It didn't start out right, but I'll keep going. There. Yep. Maybe it's an omen. Maybe I shouldn't be doing it. Let's try and... Okay, that will be covered a bit. Yeah, okay. Let's... What is it doing? That some of these threads aren't that great, and they separate sometimes, which is a bit annoying when you're trying to keep them nice and tidy. Okay, let's try that. That's better. Ugh, now I've got it doubled. I don't want it doubled. Okay. There. Where's my curve going? Just kind of following that one, I think, a bit. That, and then let's just bring it back down here, come down like that. Trying to get this fairly straight. That looks alright. Like that. I found some okay, we'll do that like that. Then I'll do another one there as well. Okay, there. Not quite sure what flowers I'm going to put on them yet, but Rachel did a nice variety on hers, so I might have a look again at what she did. I'll go ahead and do these stems. Alright, they are done. I'm happy with just the 3 little flowers up there, and I just did little daisy stitches on the end of those and put some little daisy stitch leaves on them as well. So I'm thinking that's enough. I'm going to leave it like that, and I've got to put it in my book now. I'm very happy. I've enjoyed that thoroughly. Yes, I have. I've enjoyed that thoroughly. So just put that back in there. And I've got to put it in my book. And I'm doing my book different to what Rachel's doing. I have done the accordion style books before. I actually did a giveaway years and years and years ago, and I did accordion style for those books. I think the only difference I used was I put a little gusset in, but same sort of thing, ironing it and all that. And it is a good method, but I prefer a different method. So this is my book. That will be the inside cover, like that, and I will have a pocket on that, so that's still a page I will stitch at some stage. There's my title page there, still not stitched in. That is one folded piece of cloth. The next section is another piece of folded cloth, and that will have my samplers, see, like that. And that will go there, and on the next one here, that's where my rabbit will be going, in here. I'll just pin it there. Like that, and that will be my next page. And the way that it will all join up, and it ends up being virtually exactly the same. It doesn't really matter which way you do it, they end up being the same. But what this enables me to do is I will stitch those two together like this. And I did the Sew for the Soul book, I did it exactly the same way as this one, but there was wadding involved. We were using wadding in that one, so the pages ended up thicker. And I really like the way it is. It enables you to tuck bits of lace and things like that between the pages if you want to. And I find it easier to only work with that amount of fabric to sew a piece on rather than a whole stretch of fabric. And that's just a personal preference from all those books I made using that method. And it did work well, especially because there was a gusset involved, and it helped with that because they were thick pages. But this is the way I'm going to do this, and I can just go, and then that one will join to that one, and there will be my pages in there. So how am I going to sew it on? I was just thinking I might just invisible stitch mine on. I don't particularly want, because my actual, they're about the same size, or the actual page works out a little bit bigger than the linen, because I was quite restricted. They were bags, so I only had a certain amount to work with. So I'm just going to invisible stitch mine on, and I think that will work wonderfully well. I did notice my front page here, I may come back and put a bit of lace on the bottom corners there. Just maybe just here to finish it off nicely. We'll see. I haven't stitched it, but what I might do is start stitching some of these pages on, and I'll come back and show you. So there we go, all done. Let's just have a little look. I've got my page just pinned on there for when I do my pocket. I may do that just in my own time through the week, as soon as I've finished what's to be done for this week. There's my title page. I've stitched it on. I decided not to put any lace on the bottom. I quite like it the way it is. I like the shabby look of it all, so I'm going to try and keep it that way. I haven't stitched the two pages together as yet. That will go like that. I'll pin them because I did pin the other ones. So let's just pin them, and it gives you a better idea. Okay, so that will be the first page like that. Ouch. Pins are sharp. There's the second one. And I did just use the invisible stitching method. Why am I not in shot? I must have... That's a bit better, isn't it? There we go. Just use the invisible stitching method, and I like that. And I love the way this looks down the middle, because I put my sample pieces onto a page before connecting it to the book as well. And so I really like the way that looks there. Looks like torn pages, really. And then there's the rabbit for this week, and this one is ready for next week, and they're already joined together. I haven't stitched them yet. Let's just move that. What I thought was, like, you can have little leftover pieces like that, and before you stitch the pages together, you can kind of just have them, like you could have a piece, and I'm not saying this is what I'm going to do, but I just want to give you an example. And this is what I do when I make this style of book. Put your little piece there, but you can also, you know, pop a little bit in at the top there if you wanted to as well, and just have it hanging out just a little bit, or a little bit further down, and, you know, leave a space like that. You don't have to have it hanging out far at all. It's a great way to use up your little scrap pieces like that. But I'm not sure yet what I'm putting in there, if anything. But I'm glad I've got this done so far. So all that is stitched on. You can see all the invisible stitching there. So that's, you know, all stitched onto the page. Thinking, I did watch Sarah's second video came up before I started stitching my pages, you know, doing the invisible stitching. So I watched that just in case there was something there that I needed to see. But it was quite straightforward. I think she's doing it's a very similar method, but the opposite way. So, like, that would be her pages on that side of the page, rather than, you know, there'd be a gap there. So, which is, it works out exactly the same, basically, anyway. So there's so many different methods to making fabric books. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, I wanted to show you something that I found, though, seeing as we've got a video going at the moment. I hope it's not too long. And I had to go downtown the other day and we popped into the op shop, which is a thrift store, and I found this, and what it is, it's a cross stitch. But it's for these that I got it, and I got all these yarns, which is wonderful because they're a little bit different texture to the ones I already have, and I'm after different textures, so I got those. And then in it was this lovely roll of linen, and it's a really good linen, and it's I think it says on here 125 centimeters. That's the finished picture. It's from Holland, but that's, you know, it's a tropical kind of, I don't know if it's an Egyptian picture or what. But I did measure it, and it's 1.50 m, so they give you a little bit extra, so that's excellent. It was $3 for the whole bag full, so I'm quite happy with that because I like to find the yarns. I don't often go to the op shops anymore. I think I can get rid of that. I don't need that. Although sometimes these sorts of things are good to put in journals, aren't they? Yes, it looks Egyptian. Perhaps. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so I got that. And I also found this, just a little, and that was 50 cents. Just a little folio. And I thought, well, that's nice. I could reinforce the top bit there a little bit and use that. That's nice to find, especially for 50 cents. Anyway, that's what I found. Just thought I'd throw that in there while I've got the camera on. Okay, take care, everybody, and thank you so much for watching. I've done for the week. I can't believe it. It's only Thursday here. And I'm already done, so that's excellent. But that will give me an opportunity to go and perhaps do this page here. And I'm going to, I think, stitch them each week to the page like that, because otherwise you get too far behind, I think. So I probably will do another video and do that page. Okay, have a lovely day.